I'm here representing the youth tonight.
We'll be the judge of that.
In that vein, I did talk to some of the project managers at the Mid-Penn Development Department, and I asked them, tell me what it's like working with Joel. How would you sum that up? And they basically all said the same thing. They said, he is so smart, he knows everything. They said, he has so much passion for what we do and for our mission and for our tenants. And they said, I learned so much from him. He was surprisingly patient in explaining things to me. And I think that last comment really gets to the heart of why Joel has had such an impact on our movement. He is a very effective teacher, and he is surprisingly patient. He's taught all of us here at some point or another. I feel very grateful to have been able to work with Joel for 14 years and to have learned so much from him during that time. He really is a good teacher. He's always took the time. He never begrudged, going over it a second time. He's very good at explaining things, and then as my level of experience and knowledge increased, he's certainly not afraid to teach by discussion and by argument, and it's always been very pleasant to get to disagree with Joel and vigorously debate things with him. His teaching, however, could be a bit haphazard. You really had to be kind of take an initiative as one of his students. But fortunately, our desks were just on the other side of a wall from each other, and the way the acoustics worked in the office, I could pretty much hear all of his phone conversations. And so one of really the main ways I learned was by listening to Joel on the phone. And there is no more effective affordable housing education than that, I will tell you. From listening to his conversations, I learned how to think about things. I learned a lot of just plain knowledge. I learned a lot of things he'd forgotten to tell me that I could go and ask him about. I picked up a lot of negotiating ideas, some of which I adopted, some of which I rejected. One of my strong memories is when he was working on Pacific Meadows, which was a particularly painful project. It was a re-syndication of a Atalcot deal that had HCD in it. And it seemed, he had these, it seemed like weekly phone calls, maybe they were monthly, but he was really trying to get HCD to agree to things, and he would be on the phone, he'd be trying to patiently explain things, and then it would start with, you're being a rock on the road to progress. And then eventually he just couldn't hold it in anymore, and it would be like, do you want this project to go or not? If you don't want it, we'll give you the keys. Do you want the keys? I'll give you the keys. And that went on, I think, literally for 2 years. I think I heard that conversation every month for 2 years. But you know what? The project got done. And I have to say, I saw Ansel here tonight, and he's like, yeah, that got done because of Joel. That was only on the back of Joel that project happened. So, but I'm only one of many, many people that Joel has taught in his long career. He's worked with probably, I don't know, hundreds of project managers, and those project managers have gone on to become development directors, EDs, lenders, investors, policymakers, and those people have gone on to teach people. And I think that, well, he's also, of course, taught lenders, investors, accountants, appraisers. I've heard him teach so many appraisers how to
auditors, accountants.
And he has really managed to just spread the knowledge throughout. And I think that is really, that his effect on the industry has really been huge that way, and that it is really one of the primary reasons, those ripple effects, why we in California have such a strong nonprofit development community. A friend took my bit. I was going to have people raise their hands if they worked with Joel, the project manager. But let's go ahead and do that. If you learned something from Joel, the project manager, raise your hand. Okay, now if you learned something from Joel from going to one of his workshops, raise your hand. If you learned something from, no, keep them up. If you learned something from from working on a deal with him in some other capacity? Raise your hand. Okay, and if you haven't raised your hand, I don't know where you've been. So thanks, Joel, and thanks to everyone in Community Economics. I'm proud to have been part of its history, and here's supporting more.